Eagles.
Rick Sills, National Football Show. Appreciate you coming aboard here. Thank you so much. Let's do this. There is no way on the planet here, that you do this or you say this, that the Dolphins were exposed. The Dolphins were not exposed by the Buffalo Bills, and nor was Tagovailoa exposed. What happened in that game against Buffalo? What do you think happened? They're not exposed. This is about playing great all year. This is not about playing great for one game or 3 games. It's about isn't it what you guys tell me? It's about playing great all year. And you take all of it into account. Hell, I heard Rob say this. You can't say that the Eagles aren't the same team now because why? They didn't get out to the same start they did a year ago. We'll find out more towards the end. We've won 4 different games in 4 different ways. Only thing is one-dimensional was television in the 90s when the Winers or Cowboys last won anything. The Dolphins did not get exposed. Do you know what they learned? What it's going to take to beat a good team. Pull out the gasket for the Cowboys. 49ers are going to eat their lunch next week. Maybe. Okay? They just learned what it's going to take to win. And I'll make the comparison what Washington did to you guys. Big Sills, it's the Vic Fangio philosophy on defense, which is terrible. You can't have a top 5 defense pressure and have your cornerbacks playing 10 yards off the ball. I completely agree. You can't do that to Josh Allen. Josh Allen ripped that thing apart. He's got to adjust on that. Totally true. We already know this. If Miami gets into a playoff game with Buffalo, that's not going to work with Vic Fangio's style of defense. It's just not. Sills, you think Morrow keeps a starting job when Nakobe comes back? I would fly. Okay? I would. I would totally. Okay? I would keep him in there until otherwise noticed when we start to see some poor plays. This is what you saw in that game. Hey, let me ask you this. Do you guys think Washington learned anything from Buffalo to prepare them for Philly? Or no? Do you think Washington learned anything getting their faces kicked in by Buffalo as they prepared for Washington, for the Eagles? Tone, I'll tell you what it is. When you play against really good teams, there's a game tempo, and there is, like here, when I played against the Green Bay Packers and Lindy Infani's teams, you were like, wow, these guys are good. When you played the 49ers and Montana like I did, or the Bears, a whole different group. You were like, holy shit. Wow. Everything's methodical. Everything's technique. It's not just about power and strength. It's about knowing where you are, situational play calling, being smart in situations. Why we get penalties, they don't. It's just incredible when you play against refined teams. And you're like this, holy shit. And when you knew Buffalo's an exceptional football team. I like how everybody makes that Josh Allen to sound like he's some stiff, and he was 13-3 a year ago. Dude, Josh Allen is the most talented quarterback in the National Football League next to Mahomes. He is. When teams play us, they also say, damn, they're good. No, they don't. Not right now, they're not. Well, who, Sam Howell? Who, Sam Howell? Who, Sam Howell? You're comparing Sam Howell to Buffalo. How funny can you get? Eagles coaches have been frustrating. They have to stop treating Gainwell as an equal to Swift. The offensive runs different with Swift on the field. Philly, I'll make this proclamation to you, and I made it in the previous hour, and I'll say it again to you. He's totally an upgrade. I mean, he is playing like Christian McCaffrey. Let him play like Christian McCaffrey. Okay? Let him play like Christian McCaffrey. Quan goes, Sills played 10 games, and I did have a sack on Montana. I posted it. Nice picture of me sacking him. Yeah, and I blew and got hurt, and was the rest of it was all that. Yeah. Was it meant to be? Yeah, but I did sack Montana. And I had more tackles in my rookie year than your boy Jordan Davis did. Posted that too. I sacked Montana. I got proof of it. Okay? What do you have proof of? Hacky sack? Anyway, I'm kidding. Anyway, they learned a lot from that Buffalo game, did Washington. And now the Miami Dolphins are going to learn what it's going to take to beat the team that's the number one team in the division. That was a great learning experience. Miami's good. Tua's been playing great. Okay? There's no exposing. There's adjusting. Exposing? You want to know what exposing is? Take a look at your pass defense. Your pass defense is giving up around 300 yards a game to Mac Jones, Kirk Cousins, Baker Mayfield, and Sam Howell. You're not winning a Super Bowl with that number. That ain't happening. Washington, as Tone would say, they've got pieces spread out all over the roster. That's not a good team yet. They got a long way to go. They got great coaching. That's not a playoff team. That's going nowhere. Okay? And Buffalo destroyed that team. Destroyed that team. You're almost there. You're not almost there. Because just when you think your players are playing well, your coaches are all over the place. I don't think you have very good coordinators. As of right now, hey, that's a good one. After the first month of the season, your coordinators get a D- in my eyes. Let me bring that back. D+. As a group, Desai probably C-, and Brian Johnson a D-. I mean, he's not very good. He's not very good. Okay? Yeah, just not very good. And when you have talent you're trying to coach, look, I think Desai's done a really good job at riding the backers. But that's because of the two guys playing up front that have been playing good. That was the worst game that Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter played, by the way, against the run. That was the worst game they played. And it wasn't awful. Okay? Desai's battled injuries on that side of the ball. He's not only battled injuries, but he's also battled inexperience. Can you put that super chat up for me? I missed it there. I know it's going fast for me here. Yeah, Arthur, he's bringing that 21-1 up with nothing to prove it, nothing to prove for it. The Bengals need to sit Joe Burrow until he's healthy. Correct. And we knew the defense would struggle. He's on pace for what we all expected. Totally, man. I'm not. You mean me and you, not everyone else. Because they thought that this thing was going to turn around right away. When you get to the Eagle defense and what they have to do as they prepare for this Rams team, I think the Rams have a better offense than Washington does. Okay? I think they have a better offense. Real quick before I get to the defense. By the way, bottom of the hour, Gary Cobb. Let me throw this at you here. Andy Reid. Andy Reid won his 250th game as a head coach in the NFL. I'm curious to hear what Eagle fans think of his tenure in Philly. It was what? He ties Tom Landry on the all-time wins list. He was what in Philly, Andy Reid? 250 wins, tying Tom Landry. That's quite an accomplishment. Okay? Just like Shanahan. Now, I'm not talking his overall body work. I'm talking his Philly work. Chris says amazing. Great coach in Philly. Well, Brandon, he did win an NFC title, like Jalen did. Above average. 5 NFC championships speak for itself. Interesting how you see certain people and how you see other people. Interesting. He established a way to build your team and handle your personnel. I will forever be grateful for him bringing the Eagles back from the ashes. Other than that, I give him a B+. So it was Andy Reid who turned the culture around and not Joe Banner and Jeffrey Lurie. So Reid gets the credit, even though it looks like status quo from when Andy Reid came in. Interesting. So Andy Reid is the person that set the culture in Philly. Is that correct? Is that what you're saying? Andy Reid taught the Eagles how to build from the trenches. Former O-line guy himself. Putting Bradbury in the slot as criminal. I think they have to because of the lack of personnel back there. McNabb was always underrated in Philly. Reid was overrated. I don't know about that. Reid built the culture. Reid built the culture, not the owner. Okay? Can I tell you why I think that I don't know. Because Jeffrey Lurie really hasn't had a bad hire at head coach. Look, you may not like Chip, but I've said this before to you in the past. But there was a winning culture here. And he won. He didn't have a losing record. Like I've said this before too, his bedside manner sucked. But, I mean, they haven't really had a bad head coaching hire. But that was Reid. Interesting. Okay. I was just curious to see how you guys saw it, because to me, the biggest problem that you had with the previous owner, Norman Brayman didn't believe in O-line. He believed in D-line because Buddy believed in D-line. Don't you understand there? Norman Brayman left it in the hands of the coach. So to you guys' point, it probably is Andy Reid. Because why? Norman Brayman left it in the hands of the head coach to build the culture. But he didn't believe in building offensive culture. He didn't. He believed in Randall Cunningham with no O-line. Dude, he had Keith Jackson. He had Keith Byers, he had good skilled people, but he had nothing in front of him. That was Andy Reid that came in and kind of changed that dynamic. So to your point, probably was the coach, Andy Reid, that set. Now that you think about it, Buddy Ryan didn't believe in building a football team in the trenches. He believed in building a football team on one side of the ball, and kind of like only defense. See, Buddy was one-dimensional. He didn't know how to build an offense. That's kind of facts. I give Jeffrey Lurie credit for knowing his role in leaving football decisions to the football guys. That's kind of what – you're right. So it is Reid. It was Big Red. Big Red was the one. No. Because what is the one fundamental, even right now, today? O-line, D-line. Those are the best grouping. Is, if you don't have those groups, okay, if you don't have those groups, you don't really have really great winning. So, okay, let's move on here. So, congratulations to Andy Reid on winning his 250th career game, because that's a big accomplishment. O-line, D-line will almost always keep you in playoff contention. Absolutely. Absolutely. No matter who your quarterback is. That's why the New York Giants, when they lost Sims, still won a Super Bowl. That's why the Eagles, when they lost their quarterback, they still won a Super Bowl. I wonder if that dynamic would play out this year. They lost Hurts. Would they still win a Super Bowl? If the same scenario happened this year that happened in 2017, you think he'd win a Super Bowl with Mariota? You got the best O-line, best D-line combo. If we call Foles off the couch, like it. Okay. Eagles versus the Rams. Boy, are you in for a school.